It's not your money, not your car, not even your looks. It's your presence. The way you walk into a room without asking for permission. The way your energy speaks before your words ever do. Because long before a woman hears you, she feels you, and that feeling decides everything. You see, women are wired to read what you try to hide. Your posture tells her your confidence. Your silence tells her your discipline. Your eyes tell her your truth. You don't get to explain yourself first, your energy already did. A man who fidgets, who seeks approval with his eyes, who laughs too quickly, who talks too much, he's already lost the moment, not because he's a bad man, but because he doesn't believe in himself yet. And if you don't believe in you, why should she? But then there's the man who is calm, grounded, unshaken. He doesn't rush. He doesn't chase attention. He doesn't try to impress. He expresses. And that difference, that's power. Because a woman notices how you carry pressure. She notices if you crumble under silence or if you own it. She notices if you need validation or if you validate yourself. These are not small details. These are signals, and she reads them instantly. Your style matters, but not because of brands. It's the intention behind it. Do you take care of yourself? Do you respect your appearance? Not for others, but because you have standards. A man with standards doesn't beg for attention. He attracts it. And then comes your voice. Not how loud it is, but how certain it sounds. A man who speaks slowly, clearly, without rushing to prove himself, that's a man who knows his value. While others try to dominate conversations, he controls them with calm authority. He doesn't compete, he commands. But the deepest thing she notices, your emotional control. Can you stay composed when things don't go your way? Can you handle disagreement without losing yourself? Can you walk away from what disrespects you without creating drama? Because strength isn't in reaction, it's in restraint. Most men try to win women by saying the rare man wins by being the right presence. He doesn't perform, he doesn't pretend, he doesn't shrink himself to be liked. He stands firm in who he is. And that certainty, that authenticity, that quiet confidence, it pulls attention without effort. Here's the truth most won't tell you. Attraction isn't created by what you say, it's revealed by who you are when you say nothing. So stop chasing approval, stop overthinking every move, stop trying to be perfect. Instead, be solid. Build a presence that doesn't shake under pressure. Build a mindset that doesn't depend on opinions. Build a life that doesn't revolve around validation. Because when you do, you won't have to ask what women notice. They'll notice everything. Presence is something people feel before they understand it, and that is exactly why it holds so much power. The moment you enter a space, you are already communicating. Not through words, but through energy. The way you stand, the way you move, the way you look around without hesitation or doubt. These silent signals create an impression that no outfit or physical feature can override. A man may have average looks, simple clothing, and nothing flashy to display, yet still command attention simply because of how he carries himself. That is presence. It's not something you wear, it's something you embody. Most men make the mistake of thinking attraction begins with appearance. They focus on confidence does not need to announce itself. It doesn't rush to prove, explain, or convince. It exists quietly, steady, and unshaken, while insecurity constantly searches for validation, leaking through the smallest actions. The difference between the two is not always loud or obvious, but it is always felt. A man who is confident doesn't need to dominate a room to be noticed. He doesn't interrupt, overtalk, or try to impress everyone around him. Instead, he speaks when it matters, listens without impatience, and moves with a sense of control that cannot be faked. Insecurity, on the other hand, is restless. It shows up in fidgeting, hands, shifting eyes, forced laughter, and the constant need to fill silence. It pushes a man to talk more than necessary, to agree too quickly, to seek approval in subtle ways he may not even realize. He might think he's being friendly or engaging, but underneath it all, there's a quiet fear of not being enough, and that fear becomes visible. It doesn't need words to reveal itself because people can sense when someone is trying too hard. A confident man is comfortable with silence. He doesn't see it as awkward or threatening. He understands that silence can be powerful, that it gives space for presence to speak. While others rush to fill every pause, he allows moments to breathe. That calmness signals strength. It shows that he is not desperate for attention or validation. He is grounded in himself, and that grounding naturally draws others in. There is also a difference in how both types of men handle attention. An insecure man depends on it. Compliments lift him up, and criticism breaks him down. His mood shifts based on how others perceive him. A confident man, however, remains steady regardless of external reactions. He appreciates recognition but does not rely on it. His sense of worth comes from within, not from the opinions of others. That inner stability is what makes him stand out. Even in conversation, the contrast is clear. Insecurity rushes speech. Words come out quickly, often unfiltered, as if trying to prove intelligence or worth in every sentence. Confidence slows things down. It chooses words carefully, speaks with clarity, and doesn't feel the need to over-explain. There is a natural rhythm, a sense of ease that makes others listen more closely. It's not about speaking more, but about speaking with certainty. Body language reveals the same truth. Insecurity closes off, shoulders tighten, posture shrinks, movements become uncertain. Confidence opens up. Shoulders are relaxed, posture is upright, movements are deliberate and controlled. There is no tension in trying to impress because there is nothing to prove. The man knows who he is, and that knowledge reflects in every small detail. What makes this powerful is that it cannot be faked for long. You can imitate confident behavior for a moment, but true confidence comes from self-belief built over time. It comes from facing challenges, improving yourself, and developing a mindset that does not depend on constant approval. When that foundation is real, it shows effortlessly. In the end, confidence attracts because it feels safe, stable, and real. Insecurity repels because it feels uncertain and dependent. People are naturally drawn to those who are at ease with themselves, those who don't need to prove their value in every interaction. When you stop trying to convince others of your worth and start believing it yourself, everything about you changes. Your presence becomes stronger, your words carry more weight, and your silence becomes just as powerful as anything you could say. Emotional control is the kind of power that doesn't announce itself, yet it shapes how others see you in every moment. It is not about suppressing feelings or pretending nothing affects you. It is about mastering your reactions so that no situation, no person, and no sudden pressure can shake your core. When a man has emotional control, he doesn't become cold, he becomes composed. And that composure is what creates a sense of strength that others instantly recognize. Most people react without thinking. Something triggers them, and they respond immediately. Anger, frustration, defensiveness. These reactions are automatic, and while they may feel natural, they reveal a lack of control. A man who reacts too quickly gives away his power. He shows that his emotions are controlled by external situations instead of being guided by his own discipline. And once that control is lost, respect often follows. A man with emotional control operates differently. He pauses, he observes. He allows the moment to settle before choosing how to respond. That small gap between stimulus and reaction is where his strength lies. It shows that he is not a slave to his emotions, but a master of them. Even in tense situations, he remains steady. His voice doesn't rise unnecessarily, his body language stays relaxed, and his decisions come from clarity rather than impulse. This kind of control becomes most visible during conflict. Disagreements are inevitable, but how a man handles them defines his character. An emotionally reactive man may argue to win, raise his voice, or say things he later regrets. In contrast, a controlled man focuses on understanding, not dominating. He doesn't need to prove he is right at the cost of losing respect. He chooses his words carefully, keeps his tone measured, and knows when silence is more powerful than speaking. Emotional control also shows in moments of rejection or disappointment. Life will not always go as planned. People will disagree, opportunities will slip away, and not every situation will favor you. A man without control lets these moments break his confidence. He may become bitter, frustrated, or desperate for validation. But a man with control absorbs the moment without letting it define him. He accepts reality without losing his sense of self. That resilience creates a quiet confidence that others find deeply attractive. Another layer of emotional control is knowing when to walk away. Not every situation deserves your energy. Not every argument deserves your attention. A man who understands this doesn't chase conflict or try to fix everything. It recognizes disrespect, negativity, or unnecessary drama and chooses distance over reaction. Walking away is not weakness, it is discipline. It shows that he values his peace more than proving a point. There is also strength in how he handles positive emotions. Excitement, attraction, and success can also lead to loss of control if not managed well. A man who becomes overly eager or overly attached too quickly can lose his balance. Emotional control keeps him grounded even in good moments. He enjoys them without becoming dependent on them. What makes emotional control so powerful is that it builds trust. People feel safe around someone who is stable, someone who doesn't explode under pressure or collapse under stress. It creates an environment where others know what to expect, and that consistency becomes attractive in itself. In the end, emotional control is not about hiding emotions, but about leading them. It is the ability to remain centered when everything around you is uncertain. When a man develops this level of control, his presence changes. He becomes someone who cannot be easily shaken, someone who carries strength without noise, and someone whose calmness speaks louder than any reaction ever could.